It was early in the morning, and mist settled over the Atlantic Ocean. The work-hardened hands of a local fisherman hauled hard on the lines, bringing his last catch of the day to the deck. He whistled as he pulled the heavy trap over the side, smiling as he worked, knowing by the weight that the pot should hold 30 pounds or more of good lobster. It would mean a feast for many tables and a welcome lining for his empty wallet. He didn't notice the eerie calm that slid across the water. The waves settled into glassy ripples, and the sound of birds and wind faded into unnatural silence. The trap landed with a dead thud on the worn wooden deck, and the man's breath caught in his throat. From inside the trap, beady eyes of fiery red met his own. The crustacean was alone in the trap, and large, far too large to be good for eating, and she was pure white, with shades of fog and ice running along her plated armor. He guessed she must have been more than 100 years old, and from the scar of an old V-notch on her tail, this was not the first time she'd been caught. He knew he could not keep her, and he did not want to. His grandfather had told him stories about the ghost lobster. Catching one was said to bring good luck. Keeping one, however, meant certain death within a year to anyone foolish enough to try. Carefully he lifted the heavy creature from the trap. Her eyes followed him. They held an intelligence he'd never seen in any animal. With his grandfather's words ringing in his ears, he handled her gently, but he knew what needed to be done. Never taking his eyes off his catch, he pulled his notching knife from his boot. Holding his breath, he carved his own notch into the scar on her tail, a mark to tell future fishers that she must be returned to the sea. Before he could finish, she lashed out with a speed and dexterity that seemed unnatural. He'd been pinched before, most lobstermen had, but never like this. The claw ripped through his heavy leather glove as if it were tissue paper, and his blood spilled onto the deck. The pain was fiery and poker hot, and she held fast and then squeezed. With nearly 100 pounds of pressure behind it, the pinch felt like a vice made of razors. The fisherman froze, sucking at his breath against the agony, and their eyes locked once more. Through pale, trembling lips, he whispered, "I promise, I'm sending you home." The pressure eased. The beady eyes remained fixed on his, seeming to penetrate his very soul, and then slowly, deliberately, she let go. Though wounded and bleeding, the fisherman gently lifted her over the side. Respectfully, almost reverently, he released her to the waves. She sank quickly, leaving only a swirl of red blood spreading across the foamy surface. Sucking the blood from the deep gash in his hand, he watched her disappear into the depths. The fisherman went on to have the best season of his life. A new boat was purchased. The following year, an even finer vessel joined the fleet. Wealth and prosperity flowed to him as easily as the blood from his hand had flowed into the ocean that fateful morning. He married, and children and grandchildren blessed his years. He taught them all to fish lobster, and they carried on his legacy. He lived a long, healthy life filled with happiness and comfort. But every so often he would wake in the night from dreams of beady red eyes, and the scar in the web of his hand would burn and itch. He was over 100 when he finally passed. His grandson scattered his ashes into the ocean from the stern of the old boat. As he bowed his head to say a prayer for the beloved old man's soul, he swore he saw the ghostly outline of an unnaturally large lobster glide silently away into the black water.
Like young cavaliers, but the ocean is nobody's bride.